Midnight. That is the deadline we're facing tonight. Welcome to tonight's Global Briefing. It's Friday, June 12th, 2026, and we are tracking a world absolutely on edge. We've got four major crises unfolding simultaneously tonight. A Middle East deadline expiring at midnight, the retirement of basketball's greatest icon, a global market sell-off driven by central bank panic, and a rapidly spreading mosquito-borne virus that the World Health Organization just declared a global emergency.
Here is our agenda: the Gaza deadline, the post-LeBron economy, the Fed rate shock, and the global dengue emergency. Look at this command center grid right now. There's a clear unifying theme across all four of these geographical hotspots tonight, and that theme is clocks. Clocks are ticking down in Gaza. The clock has officially run out on a legendary sports career. We're watching a central bank racing against inflation. And globally, epidemiologists are racing against a disease that's spreading far faster than any vaccine rollout can handle. Let's start with the most urgent.
Section 1, Gaza. The midnight deadline. To Gaza. We're anchoring our attention right to the top left tile of our grid. At midnight tonight, Israel time, the 4-day-old ceasefire with Hamas officially expires. We are watching an imminent expiration, and the stakes literally could not be higher. Watch the countdown clock on screen. Exactly 7 hours and 43 minutes remain. According to every major wire service right now, we're talking Reuters, AP, BBC, CNN, there is absolutely no extension agreement in sight. That hostage for prisoner exchange that was supposed to happen this morning, it collapsed dramatically overnight. Hamas submitted a list of Palestinian prisoners it demanded be released, and the Israeli Security Cabinet reviewed that list and rejected it unanimously. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu released a video statement just an hour ago. Translated by the BBC, his words were, and I quote, "We will not negotiate under the logic of abductions. If our people are not home by midnight, the gates of hell will open again."
And those are not diplomatic words. That is the language of war. And we're already seeing the domino effects on the ground. Al Jazeera is currently reporting from Gaza City that families are actively fleeing their homes right now in anticipation of renewed airstrikes.
The United Nations Humanitarian Coordinator has issued an urgent plea for both sides to accept a 48-hour cooling-off extension, which is a proposal brokered via Qatar. Now, Qatar has been the crucial primary intermediary here, navigating diplomatic channels that others simply cannot access. But let's break down the intractable sticking point. Hamas wants prisoners that Israel considers architects of mass casualty terror. Meanwhile, Israel demands that all remaining hostages, and that includes the bodies of 2 soldiers, be released immediately. It's a total deadlock. Section 2, Los Angeles. The end of an era. To Los Angeles, we shift now from a clock ticking toward war to a clock that just ran out. Last night, Game 4, the Boston Celtics completed the sweep over the Lakers. If you're seeing the empty court and that jersey right now, you know the weight of this moment. LeBron James is retiring. It is the headline ESPN has been dreading for years. Final score was 118 to 104. LeBron scored 31 points in what was clearly an emotional, completely physically draining final performance. After the buzzer, he walked to center court, kissed the floor, and took the microphone. The Athletic transcribed his full farewell quote, "I gave this game everything I had. 23 years, 4 rings, a lifetime of memories. But the king has to leave the throne someday. That day is today." Let's dive right into the fallout from this, because that emotional exit triggered an immediate economic shockwave. Look at this number. -$1 billion. According to Bloomberg data, the Los Angeles Lakers franchise valuation, which was comfortably pegged at $8.5 billion just last week, is projected to drop by nearly $1 billion overnight. The NBA has officially entered the post-LeBron business void. We're talking ticketing revenue, merchandise sales, global broadcast appeal. All of it has been intrinsically tied to the LeBron brand. When LeBron leaves, those international TV rights packages suddenly become much harder to sell, and premium ticket prices immediately plummet. What does this mean for the everyday fan and the league? NBA Commissioner Adam Silver is now facing a massive succession problem. The league has lost its definitive global icon, and the human cost here is a massive shift in how millions of fans around the world engage with and pay for basketball. Filling that void is going to be incredibly difficult. Section 3, Washington, D.C., the rate shock. To Washington. Speaking of economic shocks, Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell held an unscheduled press conference this afternoon, just ahead of next week's Federal Open Market Committee meeting. And the signal he sent to the financial sector was unmistakable. This brilliantly illustrates the pivot we're seeing. The previous hope of a smooth, soft landing, that has vanished. Today's reality is that inflation data released this morning showed core CPI, which strips out volatile food and energy prices, ticking right back up to 4.9% annually. Months of progress have completely reversed. Powell stated, quote, the path to a soft landing has narrowed considerably. We must act decisively to anchor expectations, even if that entails a period of economic discomfort.
Look at the market chart bleeding red on your screen. The translation of Powell's warning, according to Bloomberg's chief economist, is that a massive 50 basis point rate hike is now the baseline expectation for next Wednesday. The global market sell-off was violent. The Dow Jones Industrial Average closed down 876 points. That is a 2.3% drop. The FTSE 100 in London and the Nikkei in Tokyo are also deep in the red.
But what is the crucial point here? What does a 50 basis point rate hike actually mean for you? It means the era of higher for longer just became higher and painful. If you have a mortgage, your monthly payments are likely going to jump by hundreds of dollars. If you carry a balance, you're going to see spiking credit card rates, increased auto loan costs. The cost of borrowing just got significantly more expensive for the average household. That is the very real human consequence of this rate shock.
Section 4, Geneva, a planetary crisis. To Geneva. We turn now to a creeping borderless threat. Today, the World Health Organization officially declared a public health emergency of international concern, a PHEIC. This is the absolute highest level of global health alert they can possibly issue, signaling an extraordinary event that constitutes a global risk. The BBC's global health correspondent released a report showing a staggering 300% surge in dengue fever cases across the Americas compared to this exact time last year. The hardest hit countries right now are Brazil, Peru, and Mexico. What this means on the ground is that these nations are seeing severe symptoms, high fevers, intense joint pain in record numbers. This is placing an absolutely crushing strain on their local healthcare systems and devastating communities. Now, zoom in on the mosquito-borne disease map expanding across the globe. What is truly alarming here is the spread to previously unaffected regions. Because of global warming temperatures, the Aedes aegypti mosquito is dramatically expanding its geographic range. We are now seeing locally transmitted cases reaching deep into southern Europe. We're specifically getting reports out of Italy and France. The WHO Director General's warning was incredibly stark today, stating that the world is, quote, over-relying on reactive measures and that vaccine production is woefully insufficient. Make no mistake here, this is climate change manifesting directly as a viral emergency. Right now, hospitals in Lima and São Paulo are overflowing.
And that brings us right back to where we started tonight. Watch the clock. Exactly 7 hours and 36 minutes remain on the Gaza ceasefire. A basketball legend sticks away, global markets brace for serious pain, and a climate-driven virus surges. But watch the Middle East tonight. If that clock hits zero without a deal, the world wakes up to a different war tomorrow. Stand formed and stay safe.